ready for another beer?
No, I'm good.
No, he's not ready for another beer because it's 6 o'clock. It's Wednesday night. It's Real Unfiltered Talk. I'm alive. James Bryant alongside two-time world champion, FLW champion, and BSS Classic champion, Mr. Dion Hibden. Good evening, Dion.
How are you? I'm doing wonderful.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm tired as crap tonight. You know why?
I couldn't imagine.
The elections are like a Super Bowl to me. I'd stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning watching everything.
I slept like a baby.
You know what else is cool? I'm really excited about our guest tonight.
Yeah.
It's like the 4th time he's been on. and I think
it's maybe the only time you can
if
hear
anybody's
us,
watching online, just make sure you can hear him tonight. So let's welcome back Jim Dill. Jim, how you doing tonight? You good?
I'm doing wonderful.
Has anybody checked with the tech guys?
Doing wonderful.
Are we going to talk politics tonight?
No, I didn't say nothing about it. Well, you just assumed.
Assume. They always say that if you assume, you make an ass of you and an ass of me. But yeah.
Before.
You know, I don't know. Why are you quiet over there? Hey,
I'm checking with our tech guy, make sure everything's working.
everything's working.
Okay, we're working.
That's good.
Okay.
Sounds good, right? Yep. Oh my God, they're gonna know what you're saying this time.
That's good.
So, oh my gosh.
Watch what we say, Dion.
Jim
we
started
don't.
driving up here.
It's
okay?
Real Unfiltered
He
Talk.
started
You don't have to
showing
do
up
that
and
at all.
nothing happening.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So yeah. So in case you didn't know, I used to be an elected official back in the day. So I was a county commissioner, ran for the state House of Representatives, lost by 500 votes. So I've always had this passion about politics, and I don't care about either way. But it's always cool to see the returns and watch it all unfold. And while you slept, I stayed on pins and needles and was making notes. I was watching the state races, seeing if we were going to be able to bet on fishing in Missouri. So
do we actually make a difference though when we vote?
of course,
Okay.
absolutely,
I voted. I did. I went.
Absolutely.
absolutely
went
make a
yesterday.
difference.
I was so impressed with the amount of turnout this time.
Yeah, it was
It's
good.
Way up all throughout the country, and
Yeah.
that's what we need. You know, to have 50-60% of the people vote that's not what we're after.
All right, thanks, Dave Dill. Dave Dill says, "Sounds good. Welcome back, Jim."
Hey.
Here we go. No,
We just spent the week at Table Rock, all of us, me and Dave and Ryan and Denise.
did you take a whooping?
We did take a whooping,
That's all right. I know the
but we had a
feeling.
good time. I think me and Denise won practice on Thursday.
Yeah, you won practice.
We
all
won
right.
practice on Thursday.
As
Pretty
long as
sure.
you get your licks in where you can.
Love
Yeah,
it.
Doesn't matter.
right.
Love it, love it.
Well,
No, I got to go back to politics real quick. And I'm not going to talk about
Yeah, I
the
thought we
elections,
weren't
but
talking about that.
because we're here in Central Missouri. For those that are watching all over the world, welcome to Real Unfiltered Talk, and thanks for tuning in to us. And we're talking about a little bit of politics. And here in Missouri, something big happened over yesterday. They passed sports betting online in Missouri, first time in a long time. So in case you didn't know, because you know Dion's a big time gambler.
Yeah.
He's worse than Otani.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. Never could gamble in Missouri. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yep, online. So if you did online betting, you have to go like to another state and bet. So they passed that, but I'm kind of thinking I have to figure out how to do some kind of a sports betting here on Real Unfiltered because we're online. We can start betting on tournaments, doing some online stuff. We
Yes,
might
you
we might
could.
actually get paid, doing the show, doing that.
What does it benefit?
Your back pocket?
But it doesn't.
Oh, so do you want me to get on my political soapbox here?
No. I was just curious if it
So
went to
they're-
the
they're-
schools.
Yeah, that's
or,
what they
That's
say.
what they
There you go.
That's what they
say.
say.
That's always
yes.
the
To
way
answer
they-
your question, that's what they
That's
say.
always the way they
Yeah.
spin it.
Kind of like they did with the lottery.
My wife's
Exactly.
a school teacher.
Yeah.
Denise was a
Yeah.
school
Yeah,
teacher.
my
I'm
girlfriend's a
just
teacher. My sister's a
curious,
teacher.
yeah.
Yeah, they're all teachers.
I went
You
to
know.
school.
Yeah, I went to school. I didn't succeed, but I went to school. No, so here in Missouri, here's the great thing about our elected officials, both sides. So when they passed the Missouri lottery, they said all the money from the lottery is going to go to education. And we were all excited, and we all passed it. Then they took all the money out of the budget,
Right.
used it somewhere else, and then they only got lottery money for that.
That's
So,
what happens. Schools end up don't end up getting more.
Yeah.
It just comes from a different place.
So
Stop.
I'm
with the-
yeah, you're
with the-
annoying the shit out of me too.
Oh my God! I'll set it down. So anyway,
you
yeah,
Thank you.
so I'm skeptical that all the money's going to go to the schools. I think they're going to figure out some way to steal money out of the school somewhere else. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, but that's whole. But welcome gambling to Missouri online. So that was my point.
Cool.
Got that?
Sounds good.
You've been fishing all week.
I have every day.
Yeah, that's cool.
You're getting ready, ain't you?
Yeah, I don't
You're
like
breaking that-
golfers winning.
Yeah.
Oh Oh my God, yeah. So there's another tournament coming up here next week. I
Next
think?
week,
Yeah,
we
next
start
week.
Wednesday morning.
You fishing that one too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We were talking earlier. It's kind of, you got to feel kind of weird that you get auctioned off, right? Do you have
Yeah.
to dress up?
No.
You don't? Maybe you should. Make it a little more money. Comb your hair, slick it back a little bit, get some shades on, some diamonds, a little flare. No.
No.
I
No.
flare up. Are you fishing too? There you go.
Yeah, me and Denise are thinking about teaming up this year.
But can either of you play golf? Because we were talking
No,
about
but
this
we
earlier.
can win fishing. And
Yeah,
now
that
and
don't-
now the way they've changed the rules, it really plays into golfers, fishermen, or both. So you can win the fishing, you can win the golf, or you can win it overall. So and it pays out
Oh,
good
so they're
for
splitting
both.
it all up, making
Yeah.
it fair.
And that's exactly what I think it was a big improvement.
I don't.
I
There's
do.
winners and losers. If everybody, let's all get a participation trophy.
No,
Yeah.
that ain't what it is. You just don't want to favor one. You want it to be even field.
Yeah, because
I
guys
don't
like
want to give
Dion
them
suck at
golfers
golf.
nothing.
Because
Right.
you suck at golf, so you got to
know.
like double up on your fishing.
Right.
right.
But
Exactly.
I don't know. But it's kind of cool. So for those that don't know, they have this. They bring in a lot of big time fishermen, Jim, Dion, others, and they come in here to the Lake of the Ozarks. They auction off fishermen, and you go fish for 1 day,
2
2 days, and
2
then
days. We fish
it's 3
the
days,
first day, golf the second day,
so you
fish
golf
the
the
third
second day. So if you're really fortunate and you have a what do you call it, a donator, somebody who buys you, I'm really,
what do you call it?
and it's really, I feel like I'm back in the slavery days, and I'm trying not to make it sound that way, but it's like you guys get bought, so they put you up there, and you get like some high roller that's good at golf, then it's game
And
on.
that's the
right?
whole deal is trying to, your good fishermen get paired up with a good golfer,
Right.
and then you also get a pro golfer that they
On your team.
just they give
Maybe.
it they no
What keeps you from rigging it?
no they
What if
everyone gets a pro golfer.
Yeah, what
and
person
then-
buying you knows you're a good fisherman, and they know they're a good golfer.
Well, that's the purpose of it. All the codes do research,
Yeah.
and the fishermen do research, and they try to pair it up like that. Your strong point is golf, mine might be fishing, so let's pair up.
Might be.
Right.
Just depends on what day it is.
Day it is, and what's going on.
Gotcha. So that's happening. So you guys are all getting ready to fish for that.
Yes.
He's been putting some time in on the water because he's
Yeah.
got to find out where they're living right
Absolutely.
now. Weather's changing again. Got another hurricane moving in down south in Florida. You guys get ready. If you're down there watching, Peter T. If you haven't been watching tonight, get logged on and say hello, and hope you missed the next one again. He's been dodging hurricanes all year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah.
All around them.
Yep, Mama Stella's online. Thanks for watching. I hope she doesn't call and get on her rear ends about how dumb we are.
You guys better tighten up now.
We got
Yeah,
tighten
she
it.
calls, she can yell at
About
you.
one
Ratchet.
more pop at the top of the
She'll
bottle
yell,
there.
gotta
you'd be in
ratchet
your
up.
ass.
I didn't realize you guys were
What's
like
that
bothered by
noise?
that.
Everybody could hear it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You got something stuffed in your ear or what?
I don't know. So my girlfriend doesn't like the pin
Stuff
clicking.
somewhere else.
You know the guys that click the pins.
Yeah, that too.
You don't like
That's
that either?
almost
click,
as
click, click,
annoying
click.
as
No,
the
no.
bottle deal.
Oh my gosh. So I guess like 25 episodes ago, we had Jim on the show. It was an awesome show. We got him liquored
was.
up. He said a bunch of crap that everybody really needed to hear, and now it's old news, so it doesn't really matter.
What's probably
Um,
good it was the
I had to
sound
s-
wasn't right.
Yeah, I think I got liquored up on a good bourbon, and I never turned the sound up. And then we had like a $25 mixing board. It didn't work, and
Well, that was when all the forward facing started coming out. So every
Yeah.
time we mentioned it,
everybody drank. Yeah,
we had to have a drink,
yeah, and we all drank.
and we all
Yeah,
drank.
now we're reformed, and it's all good. So I called him. I said, I'm really sorry it didn't take. Let's come back. And we actually did the show again the next day.
But we
And
tried
it's-
to duplicate it. It just didn't. It's just
Yeah.
not. It's not like live.
But dumbass me, it
not
still
fresh.
didn't work. The sound still didn't work. So that was the moment I knew we needed to invest in sound equipment. So hopefully now we've got it. So a lot of things have happened since
lot.
you've been here.
Absolutely.
We've had tournaments that have banned forward-facing sonar. There are tournaments that are doing it sectionally. There are tournaments that don't care. BSS came out last week and going to have no entry tournaments, but then they read the fine print and nobody's making any money. And
Yeah, but
yeah,
professional fishing actually ought to be. The actual professionals shouldn't have to pay an entry.
Yeah, but again, like some pros have said on social media, 40th place for $500 really don't cut it either.
No, but that you got to perform. You know, it's performance based.
Right. You got winners and losers, right?
Right.
But
It's
you
always
guys
been
are
like
all
that,
fishing
though,
for
really,
like
hasn't
a
it?
third
Basically,
of the golf tournament next week. So
I mean, to pay down 30% of the field is kind of
I don't know. You know,
good if you're the last.
Just so
one to
we're
get
clear,
checked.
I've always been the guy that says pay the top 30. I like winner take all.
Well,
That's you know.
you got to have a
You got to have.
compromise there. I mean,
But what? So
top 20 maybe.
you guys have been fishing a long time. What do you think is really? And you've traveled. And I'm not saying you haven't traveled like you have, but you did the big show back in the day when it was at its peak. What do you think a fair cutoff number is on the pay down?
percentage wise.
No, just a number. A 200
Well,
boat
it makes
field.
you.
How far down?
Well,
It,
that's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
a percentage of 200.
it makes you feel good to walk away with something.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, and it's a little bit easier to justify to the wife when you come up with a check. Now I realize that the smaller the checks are, but still, it walking away with nothing is it's hard.
It hurts.
Yeah, it's hard.
It hurts
And-
financially, mentally.
Well, mentally, it helps you to say at least I drew a check, so I was kind of doing the right thing. I just maybe didn't get that one or two bites, compared to not getting a check. You were totally missed the setup.
Yep. That's the
when
addiction.
if you're gonna do something
Yeah.
like that, it has to be like what FLW was there for a while, and 50th place the first cut was 10 grand.
Yeah.
And that way you can actually make some money if you make the cut.
Right.
If you don't make the cut, guess what? You don't deserve to have 10 grand.
Right.
You got to work harder next time.
I'm down with that.
But it's you gotta let everybody have a taste. If you don't, you don't have no participants.
Yeah, and that's kind of
if you
they don't
if
come
you
back.
go to a winner take all, then there's going to be about 10 of us out there slinging at them. That's going to be it.
it's kind of like last night's election. Everyone's gonna have to sit around and just kind of wait and see how it plays out.
That's right.
So because there's a lot of options out here next year. And anglers are gonna get to
There's
pick
a lot
and
of
choose
options.
and
We were looking over the tournament schedule the other night. There's a lot of options.
yeah, I mean, so whether the anglers participate in them or not, I think one's definitively gonna stand out, and then it's gonna be that's
Maybe.
The days of Jackie and Jimmy Davis and the Eakins fishing and regionally and staying, that's going to come to pass. It's going to be a good deal at some point in time.
Right.
I mean, we got enough good tournaments around here right now. You want to
They're
make
paying
a
decent
you want to
money.
make a
Yeah.
living.
You
work
can stay
hard.
local and do
Yeah,
it.
you can stay right here, work
Boston's
hard.
been doing
Yeah,
a pretty
you-
good job
yeah,
at it.
Well, dude, you and I fished that one tournament. It was 17 boats. We won $1,500. That ain't bad.
It's one of those
What was
deals
that?
Angry Pirate. You didn't hear about that?
Oh, I heard about it, but the 1700 I didn't hear
Was it
about.
50? Was it 1,500?
I think it was.
we just
I think it was $250.
we
No, it
took
was side pot money.
we took all the money
Okay.
available.
No, I'm not kidding you. There was. It was.
Okay.
It was $100. It was a $50 tournament. There were
If
17
that's the case,
boats.
I need to fish more
There-
Angry
no,
Pirates.
no, listen. Now hear it out. Now there were I think 17 boats, right? So 15 times 7 is what? What is 50 times? $850.
Okay.
And then they had a $50 side pot. And it's winner take all side pot. So 10 guys signed up for that. So it was like $12 or $1,300. We cashed out.
Not
Or was
every
it $1,200?
not every day are you going to win all the money
How much did we
available.
win?
Right. Exactly.
All right.
It
We
was like
won big fish too.
And big
so,
fish. Yeah.
So see,
Oh,
But it
that's
was-
that's the goal right there.
Yeah.
We
So when we
pretty
split
much-
up, it was $600-700 or
we
$500 or
pretty much
$600.
took
I
all
can't
the
remember.
money
It was-
available. But that's not going to happen every time.
That's
so,
a car payment and electric bill, dude.
Hey Ed, did he come in and say I'm quitting? I'm going pro. The next day.
No. You know what? You know what I said? Yeah. What I said
To buy more
was.
dough. Yeah.
What I said was, I called Dion. I said, "You do realize I caught one 15-inch fish that day."
Yeah.
And I said, I won that tournament. And he
For-
said, "Yeah, because if I wouldn't have that 2-pounder, we would have finished second." So he didn't really believe that, but
He's
I thought
right.
it sounded good,
Yeah.
in my mind.
He's
so
right.
Knowing him, he probably said, you're right. That fish did put us over.
Yeah. made a
nah,
big
he just
difference.
looked at me like I was a moron, and I am, and that's that. So, but the following couple weeks, we fished a championship tournament. Not him and I, but my dad and I finished third, cashed again. I closed out my year pretty strong. I was feeling good, and
And make him come back next year.
That's right.
and it's just and we talk about this a lot.
Hell, this fishing's easy.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not easy. And I was going to finish up my story that what changed for me was, and honestly, it's the podcast. Because we talk so much about repetitious fishing and learning where the fish live. It's like, fish stay, those big fish stay in one area, they do their thing. And I had been stuck on a rut, and not in a rut, but I bragged about it every week. I can catch 12 pounds. I can catch 12 pounds. And you're very aware, Jim, you can go up the river and you can catch 12 pounds. Here in the Lake of the Ozarks, when it's good, you can go up there and catch 12 pounds, no problem. 15-inch fish is not hard to do. But I couldn't find any big fish. But I was throwing a shaky head. I was throwing a chatterbait. I was doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Expecting different results.
Right. So we go fish to Angry Pirate. We go in the lower end of the lake. We flip jigs, and we're fishing really shallow, and we're catching big fish. So we switched up our game. We went about twice as shallow as we've been fishing. And guess what? We were just off 10 yards. I mean, really, that's what it was. Just 10 yards will make a huge difference. And then listening to what people tell you to do, because you're only good as the information you gather.
No.
Sure.
Nah. Not the information gathered from who?
Either your time on the water.
Okay, that. Yeah.
There's a lot of options.
Information gathered by yourself.
Sure.
Not by anyone else.
Maybe.
You just don't catch some fish. I don't.
Guy spends 360 days on the water, and he says, "Have you tried this?" And you got
well,
try it,
yeah. If the guy,
works.
if he's going to be honest with you,
occasionally they are.
Well,
yeah.
There's a few exceptions.
Right.
Very few.
Very few.
Right. Yeah, because we're all aware that there's after you win a tournament, very rarely does a guy tell 100% the truth.
Right. He leaves some things out.
They kind of leave it out there. It's like a fish to jig.
Right.
Not a lie. Not where, how deep, what color, what style,
right.
what trailer.
Exactly.
Googly eyes, no googly eyes.
No, all I was getting at was there's no replacement for time on the water.
Correct.
By yourself.
We're all in agreement here. It's okay.
All
right. You're doing better because you got out there and you got a taste of it. And that makes you want to go. And it makes you want to work harder so you can do better the next time.
That's right.
Every time you do good, you just want to get better and better and better.
Until you get into a slump.
And you get in a slump.
It's hard.
That can be miserable. But like I say, the reason you did good this fall, you did good once. And it made you want more. And
sure.
So then you're going to work harder at it, and that's
you do realize
that's the way it is.
3 years in a row, top 3 in the championship.
There you go. That's
so
nice.
My fall game is not bad. Or Dad's fall game is really good. I just like to net fish, but we carried out. It was all right. But yeah, we had a good year, and it ended and out. And so now comes the work, and you know what that is. It's time for structure. It's time for putting in brush. It's time to go out there and I'll tell you what, guys that are bass fishing, crappie fishing right now, will yield you a lot of information for bass, right? Or you think I'm full of crap there?
No.
Because you're looking at me, I was getting ready to segue that in so you knew what the hell I was talking about. You know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find brush piles. You
brush
find
piles,
structure.
Yeah.
The
crappies seem to be a little further along this year as far as schooling up, bunching up.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because it's been so hot. See, we haven't talked in 6 months. You haven't been on the show in a while.
Right.
We talked about all this stuff, man. You're behind the curve here.
Well, okay.
No, I'm kidding, but in all reality, I kind of want to touch on tonight a little bit with Dion, and you can chime in on this. We here at the Lake of the Ozarks, and probably most lakes, core lakes in the country, you experience something that's called winter drawdown, and that's whenever they lower the lake levels to do repairs to seawalls. It kills off the bacteria in the shoreline, but it opens up a whole new world in fishing on information.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Of what you've been fishing, or why do I always catch fish right here in this little stretch? Well, now they drop that water 6 foot, and you see that rock change, or you see that odd boulder, or you see something different down. You're like, oh, it makes sense now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Silence.
I spend all winter long out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I spend as much time in the wintertime as I do any other time of the season here. I mean, and it's all about those little subtle changes is what I hunt for. My GPS has got, I don't know, 3,000 to 5,000 marks on it, and most of them are just remembering to make a cast.
Now, when
You
you
know.
make when you get that many, okay, how do you separate them? Do you change
I
your
don't.
icon, or do you just
I
mentally
really-
know? Okay, that was here. That must be spring.
I
fish
really,
that in spring or fall.
I really don't. I don't try to mark them. I don't try to, label them or anything else. I just remember, okay, something's different right here.
Yeah.
And I just want to remember, okay, something's good about this right here. And I zoom right in too. I mean, when I go back to look for them, I zoom right into where I know it's right there. It's right there thrown at that table where those guys are sitting. That's but that's basically all I do. If you tried to label all of them here, I mean,
Well, you use the icon of a tree for brush
Yeah,
pile, or
but-
a big rock.
I'm
or
just
rock
barely
change
smart
or
enough to
something.
know to punch the button and throw up stop sign, where it needs me to
Now,
be.
I will say that with my experience fishing with Dion, he has an uncanny memory of the lake, and he probably does on most lakes. But
Well, Jim does too.
yeah, but
Everybody does
But
if
I
you
haven't-
spend a lot
but
of time out there.
but I can't tell the damn story 'cause I never fished with Jim. So I'm telling a story about fishing with you. So just hold on a minute. Then we'll ask Jim about his story.
Okay.
All right? You ready?
I'm
So
ready.
he has an uncanny memory, and every time we go to a spot, he has to tell a story about that spot. So this spot is where, my son, my oldest son, won this tournament doing this, this, and this. And we're going to try this. And this spot is where my dad did this, this, and this. And this is my spot, and this is the spot. And it's like, I know these spots. You have them too, right?
Everybody, I was just going to say,
But it's not.
anybody I fish with, everyone does the same. Oh, I caught a 4-pounder off that corner. There's a little piece of brush, right? You got to get right. There's a little piece of brush right
That's
there.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. And where those big fish always stay there, that's where Dion says that's where those fish live. It's something that always holds them there.
Yeah.
That one thing. And we all have those spots. I like to call it the milk run, but occasionally milk run don't work because conditions change. Those fish move a little bit.
Right. And a lot of that is seasonal,
Mm-hmm.
time of year, water level, water temp, whatever it is, makes that particular milk run work or
Mm-hmm.
not work.
That's right. That's it. Have a good night, everybody. We're
I
done.
mean, there's one thing about what we do and the way we go about fishing. There are no accidents with what we do. What Jim does, the way Jim goes and throws a jig, the way Denise goes and on her guide trips and in her tournaments. There's no accidents. We're
Denise
not. We welcome an accident.
Yeah.
But for the most part, when we shut our boat off, we're going to make a cast where he lives.
Right.
And we're not going to make 10 casts where he lives. No, we're going to make a cast right where he lives. And then if we catch one on the next cast, then we're like, oh, a bonus, But, for the most part, we go out there and what we have to do, we have a very limited amount of time.
Right.
We got an 8-hour day to make it happen, and when you're only catching 4 a day, like what I've been doing, that's hard work,
Right.
so.
Well, so I feel like to all the listeners out there, I didn't feel like I did a very good job of introducing Jim Dill, but Jim is a resident local angler. He is a professional angler. He has won multiple tournaments at the professional level, including a Toyota win, BFL win, 2 boats, correct? 3 boats. I think your career earnings last time I checked was in like $60,000-$70,000 in those, right in that ballpark, not including the boats.
Yeah.
A good angler here locally. Don't know if you travel much though, do you?
It's about 130 now.
Is it 130? See,
I was getting none up.
I didn't do it. See, well, we've done this. We've done this
Sitting next to
3
guys
times.
made $1.5 million, $2 million,
30.
I'm not sure.
Pushing 30.
$3 million.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
I've had some guests on a career earnings $3,532.
Yeah.
So it's
It
all
doesn't
good.
Take nothing away.
But
from
but like
nobody.
I said, any of them that has earnings at all or has their name on that list, it did it.
Yeah.
That's your dad used to always say. He said the first time I went to fish a Never Start, I was at Rayburn Lake, and I was at his first house down the road here, and he sat down with me. We were all done. We had looked at maps. We talked about where we're going to go, what we're going to do, and he said, "Now I want you to remember something." He said, "When you put in and you float for the first time and you're out there, and he said you got 200 anglers around you, just remember you've already won." He said, because there's a million people out there dreaming for the opportunity to do what you've done.
Because you're there.
But he would go a step further. He said, you've made it there. And what I mean by making it is physically. guys don't make it. They break down. Their cars break down. They get flat tires. Their motors blow up. You know,
Oh, yeah.
once you're floating, dude, you already won because you got there. You know, you're gonna make weigh-in, even if you zero. You get to walk up on the stage, so you've already accomplished what a lot of people have done. And I've always stuck that in my mind. You know, every day you get to take off, you've won because you've got to do it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, but to win and make money, that's the icing on the cake. That's even better. That's cherry. So, but then, like you said, you get hungry. You want to do more, and you want to do more. You know, and
You want to expand out. You want to, you know, if you're successful locally, well, then you want to reach out a little bit. You want to go a little further and see how much more success you have.
I said it under my breath earlier. It's an addiction, but it kind of is because you get to a foreign lake, you get to explore it, and you love it, and you go out there and you get your ass kicked, and then it's like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. And
Absolutely.
and next thing you hear is some guys going, I can't fish with these pros because they know all these lakes so well. Well, that's why. You know,
Right.
you got to keep going back and learn it. Right?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm just.
Everything you said is 100% correct,
All right.
and it ain't easy.
But we argue a lot, and you're kind of quiet tonight, so we're on the same. We're aligned. That's not cool.
No, I understand it completely. Everything you guys say is
I'm not even being negative.
is
tonight.
100% correct. That's the neat thing about fishing. You can do it at whatever level you want to do it, and do it to whatever. You know, you guys talked about going to Table Rock last week, and you got beat. Guess who you got beat by? The best two anglers on the lake.
On Table Rock.
There is no two better anglers than Pete Winters and Brian Snowden on Table Rock.
I would agree 100%. When I seen them one, I'm like, you know, sometimes things just work out the way they're supposed to.
That's right. And that's, you know, if you're going to get beat, that's who I want to get beat by. I want to get beat by the best two guys there. They teamed up. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. That would be like fishing with, you know, Jim Dill and Dion Hibden on Lake of the Ozarks.
All right.
Guess what?
We
you're
should
not going to
try
beat
that.
them guys.
We should try that.
You're not
I'm
gonna
sure
beat
I
them
could do that.
On the lower end or the upper end.
You're not going to beat them guys every day.
So that you just opened up a whole bunch of questions. So I can only imagine Jim Dill and Dion Hibden in a boat. So number one, whose boat do you take?
I could give a shit less.
Okay, so
That don't
nobody's
matter
boat.
to me.
All right, so let's say hypothetically.
There ain't no hypotheticals. We're going up the lake.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
okay.
not going down the
Yeah,
lake.
see, you're a lower end guy, so I didn't know.
You're not putting these two guys in the same boat and go down the lake.
Okay,
That's not
that's
happening.
where I was going with that. All right, so
It will be from the hurricane
Yeah,
deck
it'll be
bridge
up lake somewhere.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious.
And we won't fish any deeper
Because
than 8
your
foot.
son,
No.
your son says you're going to go lower end, and so, but
It's pretty bad news, but yeah.
all right, making
He's
the run.
just,
Okay,
He's just that much different than I am.
okay.
He's a little more, what do you call
You say
it?
less than 8 feet.
That's where we'd be
You
fishing
fish less than 4 feet.
most of the time.
Yeah. You can't make it that broad. Upriver, it's either 18 inches or 3 feet. All right.
Well, it might be 3 foot over 20 foot, but the bait's not getting down much
right.
deeper.
So, I used to way back. I used to keep a journal. Okay, I make notes.
We've both won tournaments doing what you like to do.
Yeah. No, I'm not arguing it. But I got to share with you guys a story. December 6th, 2000. Okay, I was going through a journal, and we're getting close. We're about a month away from that. There was a Central Pro-Am tournament at Lake of the Ozarks I fished, and I think your dad fished it. You may have fished it, but Chad Brower ran all the way. He made like an 80-mile run to the tailwaters of Truman, and he won on spotted bass. On where the two
right?
where the two collide, he had like 14, 15 pounds a day, and he smoked them up there over 2 days. And I started thinking about it, but of course there was current,
Yeah.
and we didn't have
Conditions
it there,
up
but
there.
you know, and I don't even know why I brought that up. I was just trying to find some information. I thought
That's
nobody's
where,
done that in a long
That's
time.
one of those deals that I have mentally put that completely out of my mind. I'm not doing that.
Never.
No, me and Jim ain't doing that. There's a lot of bass to
There's
be
a
caught
whole lot.
before you go 80 miles.
And I just have to ask because I don't think you've been high 60 and up for a few years. Have you?
Every spring.
Really? So you still know it like the back of your hand. You know the river really good.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to get on a flat and have to push the boat off.
No.
Okay.
Now I may push it sometimes trying to get across that
I mean,
flat.
I've heard stories.
Thinking, I'm pretty sure I can get across there. And,
I've heard stories of Denny Brower's underwear getting pushing off.
well, it always
in a boat.
changes,
Yeah.
and some of these
Yeah.
flats that
He
you
was
can normally
following me
get
a little too
across.
close.
Yeah. Was that? Were you there?
Was I there?
Yeah.
He was in his underwear.
I finished second in that tournament
Okay.
where he had to get out and push.
In his underwear? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was that
So you're
chair
up there
back.
too? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little narrow right there, and he didn't realize.
So you know
that.
where I'm going with that.
Oh, I
Who gets out in their underwear and pushes the boat off? You guys put it on the flats.
Well, he's getting out because he weighs more than the
That's
boat.
right.
You got to get the boat up.
logically, I have to get
Right,
out.
exactly.
I
I
guarantee
mean, that
you.
makes more sense,
But I
right?
guarantee
Until
you,
I learn how to
he
push
would
away
not,
from.
he would not get out of the boat. There ain't no way.
Not
He
if there's
will
a
if I got to turn it hard right
He'd be
and
like,
hit high.
he'd be like, grind
Not
that
if
prop,
there's
we'll
a-
get another one.
not if there's a breath of air left in that 250 mercury. No, it's not. It's gonna be dead before I get out.
I don't know if I want to see Dion in his underwear in December
Yeah.
pushing off a boat. I don't think so.
I've got a pretty good beach in it story.
Well, I'm ready.
We took off me
Hey,
and
wait a minute. So I have a question online. Was Basil Bacon with Denny that day?
no.
It wasn't. I can't
No.
remember who he.
It was
had
an
that day.
invitation. It was an invitational. I was leading the tournament, and and
You heard the
and
story?
back then,
No.
Yeah, it's a true
back
story.
then, Denny always had one of the fastest Ranger boats. Well, I was running a 481 at that point in time, which was kind of a slug, and we took off, and Denny took off 5 boats ahead of me. I get to the Hurricane Deck Bridge. I've caught him. I've run him down. I'm like, look at this. This ain't supposed to happen, you know. And I'm leading the damn tournament. I'm not screwing around. I'm going to pass him and go on. I pass him, and we make it on up above Proctor, and I look behind me. Well, he's about 200 yards behind me. I thought, son of a gun, you know.
He waited for you.
He is waiting. The river was way low. It was bad low, and I thought, he don't know how to get up through here. And,
He let
and
you
so,
Bye.
so we get to Chairback. Well, Chairback at that point in time, at that time of the year, is about 50 foot across. The channel is, and that's all it is.
Was that right before raining?
No, it's above. It's going on up just before you make it's the big turn before you turn, and you can see Hiawatha.
Okay, so let's
up through there.
let's
Okay.
give everybody a visual. who's
Right?
never
Isn't
been
that
on
what
the-
they call Chairback?
Yeah. Let me give everybody a big visual so in your mind, because a lot of people don't watch the show, they listen to it. So when you travel up the Osage River at the Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, and I'm sure there are other places like this, you've got a sheer bluff wall on one side, and you've got a shallow end on the other side, and that river would cut through and hug the bluff end most cases.
Most cases.
But
Most cases.
when you get up here in Missouri,
I know,
up there,
I know right where you're talking
when
about.
when
Yeah.
when it looks like the water should be on the bluff side, it's actually on the other side. And a lot of anglers will get just out of that channel just a little bit, bury their boat.
Yeah.
And there's a spot up there. It's called the chairback, and they call it Devil's Chair or chairback. But it looks like the bluff wall has what looks like this giant chair built into it, where the devil would sit on it, and that was the whole, folklore.
You could go up there and have arms on it, and there was a
Yep.
big seat, great big back, just like the back of a chair.
Yep. So Lloyd with Hiawatha is telling the story about it and how it used to look like an actual chair. It's broke down over time, but you make that bend and
I look.
you're not
I look
careful, you
behind
put it
me
in the
going
dirt.
into that.
So there you go. So
I
that's
look.
that's the
I
spot.
look behind me going into that bend, and he had kind of let her drift back there a little bit. He's more like 400 or 500 yards behind me, and I grew up there. That's where I used to put in at Lloyd's when I was a kid, and I thought, whoa, he's a little far back. He better pay attention. And I swung out just like you're supposed to, cross to the other side.
What?
And when I crossed to the other side, I looked back, and he went over my wave. And when he went over my wave, that's where he stayed.
Oh, it lifted him.
Yeah, he just next thing I know, there's about a 200-yard wall of mud going in the air, and my partner says, "Oh, he's gonna get stuck." And I said, "Well, that's just too damn bad." And I kept right on going, pulled in the Hiawatha, caught 18 pounds. When I go to come back, I thought, I'm thinking, pretty boy might still be stuck down there, you know. And when I get back, he's getting on plane in front of me, and I pass him again because I'm sure his prop didn't look as good as it used to. And I pass him going down. Well, it don't take 10 minutes, and he blows by me, goes past me, flips me the bird, you know, because I didn't stop going up. And I get down to where I'm going to go fishing, get back down around Proctor, and I jump, throw a troll motor down, and he just lets her off plane right next to me. He said, "You see me get stuck?" I said, "You get stuck?" And he's like, "You see me get stuck?" And I'm like, "I was looking forward, dude. I didn't see you get stuck." You know, and he says, "Well, are they biting?" I said, "Yeah, not too bad." He said, "What have you got?" And I said, "I don't know, 18 or 19. He's like, "Son of a gun, I ain't even made a cast yet."
You gonna talk to him?
That's up to you.
We'll talk. Well, you take that call and we'll talk to Jim. It's Peyton, so he's gonna talk about his day and all
Hey,
that
you're
kind
on.
of stuff.
You're on the air.
Have you ever buried one upriver?
Oh,
I
on
have.
there. Good.
One time, me and my brother Dan
Does
was up there
anybody
trying to
know,
squeeze in over
Anybody
one of them
know what the
flats.
fish are doing
And
these days?
luckily, it was September,
No, they don't.
and we got
No.
stuck.
Did you hear Peyton says anybody on here know what the fish are doing? I heard him say that.
That's why we answered the phone to get it from you.
Yeah, we was hoping
No.
you could tell us.
Yours.
Oh, yeah. Well, you were wrong.
Oh,
You were
okay.
wrong.
All
So yeah,
right,
Peyton's
well-
on the phone. He's like, anybody know what the fish are doing?
All
I said,
right,
no.
well,
I said,
that's-
you? He said no.
That's your
So-
minute of fame, so we got to get off
Get
here.
off the phone. We got important stuff to talk
There
about.
you go.
All right,
Well,
goodbye.
if there's any real fishermen on there, ask them what is happening.
Wow.
Oh, well, it's Jim Dill.
That's
He's
pretty
trash
good.
talking.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Jim ought to know.
Well, I
He
thought I
oughta.
should know
He
too,
sounds
but
like
I
his
don't.
grandma on the phone. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah.
All right, we got to go. Bye.
All right, bye.
Did you get that out of the way? Jeez.
Yeah. No, we got stuck up there. And I forget who got out. I think it was me. Had to get out and push. But that was the one and only time.
Yeah, one's all right.
Yeah, one's enough.
One
I-
only.
I've been
Seriously.
in panic. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Here.
all the years. Oh,
on
here.
this lake.
Oh, okay.
We've
Oh,
never,
this
we've
lake.
never
Start
got
saying,
stuck,
wow.
have we?
We used to fish the
To
lake
get out.
South
I am
St.
a-
Louis or South Missouri called Wapapello. We were always
Yeah.
on the mud flat
Yeah.
there.
I've been.
Stump flat, mud flat, you name it.
I can honestly say I've been stuck in about every state on this
That's
continent.
because of the way you fish.
That's
you
because of
gotta
the way
get,
I
trying to
fish.
get shallow.
That's right.
And just a little bit shallower.
That's right.
Yep, I just yelled at Pops. We've been worried a couple times, but we've gotten her out. But, number one, we didn't have any fish, and we're all small. So, we can get out of stuff a little easier than you guys.
You know what? I take that back. We got stuck at Table Rock this week, and Denise pushed us off with the net. Remember when I tried to get across that little skinny flat? I said, we ain't going to make it.
And
It
you
hit.
didn't?
We didn't.
Nice.
She pushed us off with the
Peter
net.
T and me, we were in the Gulf of Mexico fishing out the Pascagoula River, and we decided, okay, we're not staying in the Pascagoula and not catching nothing. We're going to go to Delacroix, and which is hour and a half drive in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, we had driven over there and put in every day. Well, it's the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, how hard can it be? It's a big old open body of water. It's not the case.
That's not the case.
We come out of the mouth of Pascagoula, and I'm about boat 50 or so, and Pete is about 20 boats ahead of me. Now this is back when you could carry gas. I've got an extra 60 gallons of gas in my boat, just in gas tanks sitting
That was
around.
safe.
That's 10
Yeah.
gas
Smoking
cans
a
strapped on the
cigar.
back.
That's right.
Yeah. Smoking a cigarette. Yeah.
I come out of the mouth of Pascagoula. Well, it's the first year when we could run big motors. So I got a 225 on whatever boat Ranger made for a 225, and still, I'm getting after it, and
It was
I
still
get
1100 back in the day, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I get to the mouth of the river and I hang a right, Gulf of Mexico, off to the left there, long frickin' ways to the bank. But to your right, Gulf of Mexico. I head out. I look up ahead of me and I'm like, holy crap, there's a bunch of guys fishing up there. And there's like 20 boats in front of me, and about 10 of them are standing up, 2 guys standing in the boat. I'm like, what in the hell did I miss? And I'm going right at 70 mile an hour, and I pass Pete. Pete is idling, coming at me, and he's going like this. I back off of it. When I back off of it,
Then you hit.
it's amazing that I didn't roll over. I was going so fast.
Boat stopped.
I hit, and when it hit, me and my partner, I ended up basically hanging over the side of the boat. My partner's pushing me out of the boat from this side, and we stuck on the mud. And when we come to a stop,
So it was mud, not a coral reef or
no,
rock
it
ledge.
was
or,
sand.
Sand.
Yeah.
Sand.
Yeah.
And when we come to a stop, we're at about this angle. All these other boats out here were previously stuck before I got there. They're just standing up and stripping off their clothes to get out of the boat.
You
It's
know,
like a
every
chain-
one
like
of
a
them
chain
was like,
reaction car wreck.
Oh yeah,
they were all
everybody's
hitting each
mad.
other, going, "Watch this!
Watch this,
here it
Watch
goes."
these two!"
Yeah. Oh, trust me, they all commented about it when we got to the weigh-in. How did you not roll over? And I mean, it scared the crap out of me. So I'm stripping down, and of course, Pete turns around and he starts idling back up to me. He had got stopped. He starts idling back up there to me, and I jump up, and lo and behold, me and Pete have the two oldest, and we checked on this. We have the two oldest co-anglers in the frickin' tournament with us.
Of course.
My guy was 84 years old. Pete's guy was like 79 years old. Little old spindly old man, you know. I'm like,
Oxygen bag.
son of a gun, you know. I get out of the boat.
Insulin pump.
Pete gets about from here to the office from us, about 150 yards from us, and he can't come no further. He beaches his, strips off. We all get in the water. I'm pushing, prying. I'm doing all I can do, and
Is this
finally,
fall tournament or spring tournament?
no, this is in.
So,
No, it would be in early spring, like
so,
March.
Well, they're down in.
so the water wasn't really cold.
No,
not that
well,
bad.
yeah, but
Oh, right.
still, it's
Yeah.
it's cool enough.
I'm just checking. I'm kind of getting the feel of
It
things.
doesn't matter. You're only getting your ankles wet when you get outside the boat. I
It's
mean,
not like they're good.
it's not like you're
submerged.
going to your waist. No,
That's a
you're.
Well, you get in the
Good
sand.
point.
Though.
I
Sometimes
coulda got
wet
out-
sand, you put your feet in, you go down a foot or two.
I
you know?
could have got out and
And
not
you
got
might
my
get
underwear
your
closed.
danglies might get wet. You know.
But anyways, Pete starts wading across to us. Well, if you guys don't know what Pete looks like, Pete is a woolly mammoth of a man. I mean, Pete is 6'4".
Now you're saying like hairy back.
No, he's gigantic.
He's a big guy, yeah.
He's big. He's
Whether
big
it's
all
and
over.
hairy or
Big.
just big.
He's wading over there to us in his underwear, and I'm out. I'm already out of the boat in my underwear, and I'm pushing and prying. Takeoff is still very much going on. I mean, there's 150 boats left to take off, and they're coming at us. They're coming, and the only place that they can go is about 200 yards to the outside of us. And finally, Pete's about halfway to us, and I guess the next guy in line, Don Hogue is who it was, an old boy from Alabama, and he's a coming. And I mean, he's going to split us. He's going to go right between me and Peter T's boat. And then Pete's like, oh, hell. And so Pete really starts going as hard as he can, and water starts splashing off of Pete trying to get
Out of the way.
well, it screws that guy up. So then he turns right at me, and I'm like, holy shit, he's going to run over me. And I turned around and told my partner, I said, be ready to get out. And my partner, little old man, still sitting there all huddled up in the boat, not doing a damn thing. And Pete finally realizes, oh no, I'm not going to make it. So he turns around, and he's going to go back to his boat. Well, as soon as he starts splashing back the other direction, Don Hogue goes, whoop, and points in a different direction. I'm like, holy shit, Pete, get out. Get out of the way. Finally, this guy makes a big old swing right out in the middle of everybody and beaches it on an island. Now, he beaches it on the only grass showing anywhere in the whole bay.
So he saw a
in the
spot,
whole
actually.
Gulf
Yeah.
of Mexico. He beaches it on the only patch of grass that we can see. Okay, other than that, it's just an underwater sandbar. But he had managed to hit land. I'm like, thank God, at least he's not going to run over nobody.
Right.
Pete sloshes on over to me. He's like, holy shit. He said, there's been a million times I thought I might die in a bass boat. But he said, I never thought I was going to die by a bass boat. He said, man, I know what a deer feels like now. He said, I couldn't go right. He said, I was going this way for a little bit. He said, and then he turned, and he said, it was like a Wile E. Coyote scene. I'm like, it was bad there for a minute. I said, I didn't know what to do.
Wile E. Coyote scene, all I can think of is two bald Sasquatches trudging through the water trying
That's
to push
right.
boats off.
Well, Pete got over there to me, and we picked up my 520 Ranger and carried it off of that sandbar, and we got back fishing, and neither one of us did worth a hoot. All we did was clean our feet off that morning.
Gotcha.
Play the wave when he made that turn. It
That's right.
push the wave when that boat lift up. Push.
Yeah,
Which
it was
You have
bad.
one shot.
Which that brings me to a very old tip of the week that your mother used to always say. Always take big, giant Ziploc bag, put your change of clothes in there, a couple towels. If you're fishing tournament, always make sure you have that in there
I've had to use that a time or two.
because you're going to get wet at some point and you can't go back.
Everybody, everybody give me a hard
don't have
time
that,
and
do you?
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Do you?
Of course.
and they
Extra
used
rank
to
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
they
Especially
used
this
to
time of year.
Sorry.
they used to make the comment, oh Guido, you never did do anything like that. My dad was the worst.
Yeah.
My dad would get stuck for nothing, no reason. He'd just go out there and get stuck every now and then, so I'd have to get out and push him off. But he would go anywhere he thought there was a bass. There was a time on the Potomac River when he won the tournament, and he told me, he says, I'm gonna have to jump over a little beaver dam. I said, really? I said, beaver dam, huh? I said, me too. Needless to say, second day of the tournament, I decide I'm going to my beaver dam spot. Guess what? He's already in there. And I said, I would have swore you said that was 10 miles up the lake. He said, no, this is it. I said, well, I guess I can leave. He said, yep, you can leave. He said, you need to get out of here. He said, I need this for tomorrow. Needless to say, he won the tournament. Jumping over a beaver dam.
So whose spot was it?
I think it was mine. But
He knew about it.
But he
He
won.
claimed it.
Yeah.
He won. He claimed it first. But
It's kind of like a toot.
that's right.
He owned it.
He
It was
owned it.
his. It was his
No,
stamp.
Dad was one of them ones. It didn't matter if it was wet and he thought he could get there. He did it. Well, in the Bassmasters Classic that he won, there was a sandbar in Swift Creek that was 2.5 miles that at low tide is totally dry. And he went across it every day and won the tournament.
I had to wait for it to come back.
Had to
up.
wait for it to come back in. Can you imagine what an agonizing 6 hours that would be? Well, I sure hope it comes back up and gets me.
So I can just get out. Yeah.
So I can just get out.
Yeah.
The last day I went, by the way, in that tournament that he won, in that classic, I finished dead last. And
Because he had your spot.
Because he has your spot.
he didn't have my spot. He didn't have my spot, but I had to come back and make sure he made it out the last day. And when he came around the corner and I seen him, I thought, there's no way he's making across that, because I could see dry ground between. It was kind of an illusion looking across that flat, but I thought, I know that's dry ground between me and him. Well, needless to say, them old Evinrudes were pretty damn tough.
Yeah.
Because there was a wall of mud for 200 yards behind him for a half a mile.
It's still one of my favorite stories, and it wasn't even involving me, but Fish Day ever starts, and we were at Pickwick, and my dad traveled with us, and he was fishing as a co-angler on the other side, and he drew Missouri and Joe Bennett. And Joe came up to him, he's like, thank God it's a little dude. And he's like, excuse me? He's like, yeah. He said, I'm glad it's you. He said, how much you weigh? That's like, I don't know, man, like 160. He's like, cool. He said, I'm going to throw a spinnerbait. We're going to go on this little bitty creek. He's like, don't pack any more crap. Just take one rod. He said, I promise you we'll get you some fish. He said, but we're going to go skipping across them. And he had calculated his water weight, what he anticipated his catch was, to make sure he'd get back across the creek. And Dad told me that story, and I thought it was pretty cool. And then he drew a real douchebag the second day, which is I got to have him on the show, because to hear him tell the story is freaking hilarious. It was like, it's just, you can't make stuff up, but
No.
he had, when we traveled together and did that, I had some great experiences, but he had like all the bad ones, and they're so funny, they weren't funny for him, but they're funny for me. But I mean, it was Kentucky Lake, we're all taking off, and I think we're like boat 50, he's like 25, he's fishing with a guy that's a local guy, he's like really good, and I watch him, and if anybody's ever fished a big tournament, 200 boat field, they're all staged up, and it's kind of everybody's jockeying around, and he's like boat number 25, and they call his number, and they take off, and as soon as he gets past the buoys, he shut down. And the angler, the driver, he just lays his hands on the steering wheel, puts his head down. And so I'm like 20 boats behind him, and they're still sitting there when I went by, and I thought, man, this guy's sick, but they're right there at takeoff, so really, who cares, because I know he can get back in if there's a problem. So we won't get the whole story, but coming back in, catch up Dad after the weigh, and I said, you all right? He's like, yeah. He said, why? And I said, what happened? He's like, dude, he said, we're getting ready. They're calling like boat 20 or 25, and the guy says, "Hey, I gotta pray." And he goes, "What?" And he goes, "I have to pray." And he's like, "When we take off, we gotta pray." And he's like, "Well, you could have done that before we took off." And they said 25. And he goes, and he shuts it down, and he prayed for 10 minutes.
There
He
you
said,
go.
"We got done." He said, "We took off." He's like, "The hell, man!" He's like, "You had all morning to get that out of the way." He said, "We had to do it then." And I thought that was, just to see it, from an angler's perspective, it's kind of funny.
The fun thing about it was, is the old timers were 100 times worse than I was.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Dowden, I drawed Bo Dowden on Lake Havasu one time, and I was going into a slough on the upper end of the lake, and it was the same way. The slough that I was going into was 6 inches to get across this deal, and it was narrow. It was like 2 boat lengths wide, but at Lake Havasu, Los Angeles gets their water from Lake Havasu. So it goes down 6 inches every day. Every day the lake goes down 6 inches. Then through the night, it raises back up 6 inches. So I had a little bitty window in the morning that I could go in there, catch what I could catch, and come back out. I drove Bo down the last day. And, and I told him, I said, "Bo, it's a bad deal." I said, "It's dry, at the end of the day." And he says, "Dude," he says, "unless that thing runs out of gas," he said, "we'll get out of there." And I said, "Well," he said, "man, you got a chance of winning a tournament." He said, "Of course we're going in there." I said, "Yeah, but," I said, "we just got to be out of there by about noon." And he says, "If we have to, we'll carry this boat out of here." And sure enough, we stayed about an extra hour and a half when I caught 2 more fish and ended up second in the tournament. I didn't quite get it won, but it was the same way. And I mean, we destroyed a poor old Evinrude getting out of there, but we made it in. But,
Well, so we burned quite a bit of time tonight, and it's always one of those guests. I love having Jim on, but we'd like to have to do a second one. But Jim and his wife Denise, one of the top, most renowned guides here at Lake of the Ozarks, Jim Dill Fishing Guide Service. Is that correct?
James and Denise. We have reprogrammed,
James Dill.
what do you call that?
Rebranded.
Rebranded. It's
Right.
James and Denise Dill Guide Service.
So you're a team now.
Yes, we've always been a
Okay.
team, but
No, I know that.
let her in.
Yeah.
I let her in on that.
You let her in on the good side. Yeah, all right. So now she have to book through James. If you want to fish with Denise, he'll let it happen for you. So that's cool.
Yeah, but everybody calls and I answer. I'm like, "Yeah, we can do that. How about Saturday?" And they're like, "Well, is Denise available?"
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if she's not booked, then I get the trip.
You get seconds.
Right.
So okay.
Most times.
So you get the scraps, but Denise gets the good trips.
But that's all right.
yeah,
I'm
it's
okay with that.
We're gonna have Denise on.
it's
'cause I know
okay
she's
just
like,
as long as they call.
Right, exactly.
that's
All
right. And they call.
keep calling.
They call. Yeah. You're always busy. So if you guys want some information, want to fish with Jim Dill, James Dill,
Well,
what's the website now? Is it the same? Is it Jim Dill Guide Service or
James
Dill?
James
Dill.
and Denise Dill Guide Service.
That's a lot of typing, dude. Did you ever think about that when you set it up?
Actually, it's Dill Guide Service.
What
Dill
is
Guide
it? What
Service.
is it? Denise
Dill
says it's
Guide
Dill,
Service.
Dill Guide Service.
Even
dot-
I'm smart
is it-
enough to
is
know
it
if you
dot
get
com
close,
or is
it'll
it
pop
dot
up.
book or-
Exactly.
All right.
Let me tell you about this
Yeah.
new
Oh my
age
God.
of the
Yeah.
internet. If you get close, it's going to get to us.
Maybe.
No,
You
it
got to
will.
say something
'Cause
really
you might
vulgar
get
for it to come
Guide
up
you
the
your
wrong
way
thing.
to making
all
dill
right?
pickles. I
That's
don't
right.
know.
Punch it in and we'll come up.
Fishing for dill pickles, and you think I'll get?
If you
Dill
got
Guide Service?
fishing and Dill in
get it.
there, I bet we can show up.
So
somewhere.
you've done your work on that. Okay, that's cool. So if not, there is a phone number they can call
Yeah,
too, right?
absolutely.
It's 573-207
204
204 2007.
9005.
Damn.
You was close to 204. A lot of people were
I
like,
was trying
"Where's
to get
that?"
I was trying to get it in my mind. So let's
You know,
let's start.
between the two of you, you just pretty much screwed that
Yeah,
whole
no,
deal up.
I'm gonna start
Nobody's
over.
going to get it
Give
now.
us-
All
give
right.
it- They can rewind.
So
the
one
vi-
of you
they can
talk and the
rewind
other one be
video.
quiet. All right.
573
204 9005.
9005, and you can book a trip here at the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks with Denise, and if she's busy, you can fish with James.
Right, that's
it's all
exactly
good.
perfect. You got it right.
Two big-time anglers here at the lake, and can't sell Denise short. She is always holding the good fish in the pictures, so I know she's catching them.
Yeah, I try to pull them out of the bag. She's like, those are mine.
Those are mine. Yeah, you hold
That's
that
right.
You
15
get the two.
turn.
You
Yep.
get the two Kentuckys.
Got it,
I
got
get
it.
the
That's
two
right.
large
And we talked
mouths.
6 months ago. You're going to come on the show too, right? Yeah, Denise is coming on, and we're going to get her in when the snow's flying, because I think it'd be a great time. I think I'd like to have, and I don't want to sound chauvinist, I want to have like a women's month. Because if we can get the conservation
cool,
agent and get Denise on, because our fisheries biologist here is a female also.
Yes,
And that
absolutely.
sounds wrong, but I don't mean it to be, but we can get like
No,
I
absolutely.
booked your wife for Thanksgiving, the week
Cool.
before Thanksgiving. Did you know that?
Nope.
So I think our show's on like 2 days before Thanksgiving.
You don't think that's the only time I don't know what my
And you know what
wife's
she
doing, right?
and you know what she said? She goes, I want that date because I want you to say, what are you thankful for? And I'm coming on the show.
Oh,
Nice. They really think it out like that.
I know,
We're like,
right?
What time you want me here?
Yeah, I
6
was like,
o'clock.
really?
yeah.
So she's like, I already got it planned out. I'm like, okay, got that.
That might be dangerous.
So yeah, so we're probably talking November. Is that okay? All right. Denise says she's good for November.
Yeah, about time for she's gonna shoot
Wait, this is
herself
November.
a deer. Yeah.
Good Lord,
Start saying.
I've lost track. I'm so tired from watching the election.
That's not. Yeah.
So I'm
apparently
like-
that screwed you up.
It's freaking awesome. It was a good time. I like
Yeah.
watching it.
Are you glad with the outcome?
Do I want to be political on the show? You know, I will tell you this because people can come back because the internet's
It's not
forever.
like I care.
You know,
I mean,
but
I just-
the internet's forever. But I can tell you that it's really not important what I think. But today I saw the stock market consumer confidence went up like 1,300 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the country in the overall thinks that it went out
That's
okay.
exciting.
Yeah, I think, and that's, as a small business owner, I love it when people spend money.
Yeah.
You know, I want them to spend money. So if their confidence is up and they really are happy with the outcome of the election, you know, hey, I'm happy too because I'm only here for one reason, and that's to take their money from them.
That's right.
You know, that's what it is. Provide a service. Do it. I mean, really, that's what I do.
I would have phrased it differently, but yes.
But that might work too. That's
But let's back up.
your
so I
show.
can-
You
so I
can
can-
do whatever
Your
you want.
show.
Yeah, I
It is your show. You
Yeah.
just
Right.
you.
You
I mean,
can say it however you like.
Any business owner, if they say I'm doing it for the fun, yeah, I mean, I get it.
No, I mean
But
we,
they're
we
not.
provide a service, a quality service,
Right.
and we get paid.
I
for
didn't
it.
say you.
Okay.
I'm selling
True.
tackle that you can buy anywhere. It's price. It's
But
price.
you can't
driven,
get the knowledge to go along with it.
but you get the show for free. So
True.
so feel guilty about it and come in and buy some tackle from me so I can get your money. See? There you go.
I got you.
I'm not lying.
You two really confuse the hell out of me every now and then.
Really
I'm not sure where we were going there for a
Me
second.
either, but hey, the fish are starting to bite.
making money.
Okay.
Yeah. Consumer confidence. If everyone's unhappy with government, they save their money.
Yeah, they hoard
they
it.
go buy guns.
They don't know.
And they're worried about civil wars and all that kind of stuff. And then the election goes the way that the majority of them do, and they take a big sigh of relief, and they're like, hey, let's buy some stock, and let's go shopping, and let's go book a guide trip, because everything's going to be okay.
Right.
And let's go build a house, and let's go, buy a new boat, because it's okay.
And who's
Yeah.
that good for? Everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I'm okay with that, unless somebody screws it up. And that's, I actually had a long conversation with my daughter about politics, and I'll tell you this. I said, and I'm going to say this as
Here she is.
that says telemarketer. We're going to turn that off. So I said, here's the thing. With either party, the way it's looking is the Republican Party is going to have control of the House and the Senate and presidency, the way it's looking. And in history, when you have complete control, that means you also are responsible for the outcome.
Right.
So they're going to have to grow a set of huevos and go to work. And if they don't, in 24 months, they're out of a job because they're going to get voted out, and that's what happens historically with politics. So, yeah, I'm excited about the outcome. They better deliver this time because they won't get another chance like they did this time. American people spoke. They said, this is what we need to do. This is what you said you're going to do. Now you got to do it. And if they don't, then the other side's going to get a shot too. And it happens over and over and over again.
Yep.
So we'll see.
And that's how it's supposed to work.
And that's right. So I'm not picking sides. I mean, as a small business owner in a small rural conservative state, kind of know where I lean.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. So
Yep.
Shameless plug. What you got?
Lloyd and June.
Lloyd and June, Hiawatha Beach at the 66. What's the mile marker? I always get it wrong. 67-mile marker. It's getting colder, so hurry up and go see them.
Buffalo, I would have said that.
Yep, Little Buffalo Cove here at the Great Lake of the Ozarks. They are wonderful sponsors, June and Lloyd. Take care of us good, and we like that. Let's do a really quick. Do you want to do Stump the Chump again tonight?
You can.
If you guys are watching online, we did it last week. I've got about
Stump the chump.
yeah. We're gonna give it to Jim Dill tonight, so
Okay.
Jim's gonna be the guy.
So that makes me the chump.
I've got about let's see, what's 6 times? About $25, $30 worth of Bojangles baits we're gonna give away tonight. So if you've got a question for Jim that he can't answer, nothing is off limits on Real Unfiltered Talk.
Bring it.
Throw us a question online, and if he's got the answer in the crowd, we want to thank everybody for coming here live and watching us. We got a good turnout tonight. Throw us in a question for old Jim, and if he can't do it, then we'll pass it off to Dion, because he had all the answers last week. No.
Well, Dion's
No.
going to give you an answer.
Yeah, well, he's
So
gonna give an answer.
Regardless.
last week they asked who was the first winner of the Red Man tournaments,
How in the hell would you know that?
I would.
You can't.
and then so they said, well,
There's
is there
no way.
I would
can it
say,
be-
yeah.
can it be anything? I'm like, I don't know. So then I said, sure. So the next question was,
Was it your dad?
No.
no, we don't know.
No, we don't
still don't
know.
know. The guy that asked the question didn't know, but kind of won. So, and then the second question was, because we thought we'd throw that one out, was what was the first original name of Busch beer? You know that one?
Nope.
I knew that one. It's Busch Bavarian.
Huh. Well, it was
Now,
actually
well,
Bush, yeah.
Busch Bavarian. Then they shortened it up to Busch. So,
Right.
yeah. Anyway, so my daughter's future husband works for Anheuser-Busch, and I was telling him a story. I said, "You know the history of Anheuser-Busch, right?" He's like, "No." I said, "Well, Mr. Anheuser, the Busch family, killed him because he had all the horses and the deliveries, and he was making all the money on all the deliveries, so they killed him, and then they kind of cornered the market." And he's like, "No kidding." I said, "I'm making all that up." I was like, "Not even close." I
Storyteller,
was like,
yeah.
"Good Lord." So
Yep.
nobody's gonna ask any questions tonight.
You can't stump me if you don't ask a question.
That's right. I might have to ask one myself. You guys got anything for Jim? Any questions out there you guys stump him with? Get some free tackle? Look at they're all quiet too.
Man. Take a
Oh.
shot.
Maybe they don't want the bait.
Pick some
No.
up.
Nah,
Because I'm looking at these baits, and this one right here, this
dig it out.
Nos,
Yeah. The Nos Craw.
that
Yeah.
thing right there, is the deal.
Is it?
Yes.
You can take it out.
It's a big, fat, bulky bait.
Come on, come up with
I don't know what
something.
these others
So-
are here. But
Something you think we can't answer.
That's so. How many pelicans are on the lake? That's not good. So it's not. I think it's a question, not a stump the chump question. But one of the questions has he spent all of your winnings from last week?
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. You
We
ready?
spent a week at Table Rock, and
Here we go.
got
I got a
Kinderhook
question.
coming up.
Are you ready?
Go.
What bass boat company integrated the jack plate into the hull?
That's easy. Come on.
He
Come
knows.
on.
Ranger.
That's it.
Ranger
Ranger
did.
bass boats. All right.
That's right.
First one with a setback, too.
Yep.
Yeah, but you didn't answer it. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
you did. You said it was easy and kind of ticked
Easy.
him
I'm
off.
like,
So.
you're Ranger. And
Ranger
a setback.
bass
Yeah.
boats.
He
But
just
you know
had-
what? Let's give it to Edward anyway.
Well,
Ed,
sure.
Ed Graham asked that question. It's a good question. They did the kick out like step hole.
Yep.
It's like a
Setback.
built the step back. Yeah, the
V-
step back on the
VS.
boats. The VS series Ranger boats were the first ones to do that. If we're wrong, Ed, say so. But if not, then you are the winner.
We're not
tonight.
wrong, so
What?
don't say so.
Oh, you staring like I got a problem. But that's a good question. So, I think if I remember right, Ozaki Marine sold a ton of those back in the day, or they put jack plates on them. I can't remember. It was in that 150 craze on those boats, but yeah. Oh, Ed says it wasn't Ranger; it was Charger. You're both wrong.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yee.
No, Charger.
We're gonna have to do some research,
Well, Ranger started in '67.
but we
Well, they-
know I've got a guy can call
So-
Charger and find out
They
that's true or
all
not.
started with that second step.
Mhm.
Okay, and all that is the boat not going right off at the back. It extended out.
Right up on the pad.
Yeah. So once you got on plane, it had an extra pad back there. But
The step
the
hole.
first
Yeah.
extension of the boat, I'm pretty sure it was Ranger.
All right.
I'm not gonna say no
Extension
because
from
Well,
the back pad projected out from.
Well,
at one point in time, Charger had a lip. It came up, goes out, and then up, and that's where your motor hangs on back. So there was a deal, but I can't. That's,
We'll do
that's
some
kind of a gray area.
We'll give it to you, Ed. But we're gonna have to do some research, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
How about that? Jim?
Or we won't,
Anybody you want to plug?
because I
other than
really
yourself?
don't care. I think we're still right.
Oh yeah, right now my son.
Fire away.
We fished a tournament, 2 tournaments at the same time last week, and he bailed us out with a 627.
Nice.
About 9 o'clock in the morning. That made our day go a whole lot better. So he's just kind of a natural at it. We don't get to fish a whole lot together anymore. But when he caught that big old fish, you know what that does. When the fishing's tough like this, I said, that's half of the weight we were looking for today right there. So we went on, won that tournament, got second in another one, but it was a good day.
So shout out to him for bailing you out.
Absolutely.
What you got, old man?
Nope, nothing. That was good.
Nothing? All right.
I fished the same deal, caught 8 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
No 6s that day at all.
Cool.
You know,
No.
so.
And that was the first time I seen a 6 in a long time.
You gonna come back again?
Absolutely. I'm
Well,
always right here in town.
I know. So we get
I
to
come
a
up here to
bind.
see my boss.
Yep.
You know, every so often.
My boss. Oh. Anyway, so I'd like to thank everybody that's watching us live here, and everybody that tunes in and watches us here at the show. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe, like our channel. We're working towards getting paid. We're getting there, so it's all good. Make sure to wear your life jackets, kill switches. Always watch out for the ones coming at you. And from all of us
And
here,
don't hug the bank.
Don't hug the bank. Yep, you might find a little ledge.
Well, this
Or we
time of
pop
year,
around the corner.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about guys coming out of these creeks. A lot of different tournaments going on. You run them banks. You don't have time to react when they come out of them creeks and you're coming up the lake. Get out just a little bit. Give yourself
careful.
a little bit of time,
Be careful.
a little bit of
Yeah.
response.
Take care of yourself
time.
and your partner.
Yes,
So.
absolutely.
And from all of us real unfiltered talk, we're going to see you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. We appreciate you watching. And thanks again. Be safe, catching big fish. Talk to you next week.
See y'all.
Next win?